Hey everybody, Don from Well Rigged, where we talk about the most durable, practical gear on earth. Right now I'm taking a look at the Gerber LMF II infantry knife. I think a lot of people are missing what the potential of this knife really is. They're always putting it in the context of bush survival. This knife is a versatile knife designed for much more than bush survival. In fact, I think it's the best urban survival knife money can buy, and it's not that expensive. We're going to take a look at it today. So the LMF II is really originally designed for downed aircraft crew. It's a survival knife designed for aircraft crew to escape the cabin of their plane, break through glass, cut through electrical lines, escape and survive. We'll go through all the different specs in a moment, but I'm just going to show you a few things it can do. The Gerber LMF II has an electrically insulated handle, which allows you to cut through wires. Of course, this is just a tiny thing. It can cut through more than that. But the point is this, because this handle has a special electrical insulation in it, you're capable of cutting through live wires in emergency situations. That is actually a pretty neat thing, and it's a technology that I haven't found in any other survival knives. Next thing I want you to look at, there's two lashing points for a spear and a rear lanyard hole, which you can also use for extra lashing if you wanted to improvise a spear. Very cool. Of course, that's a bushcraft thing. Like I said, this is a versatile knife. It can be used in the city or in the wilderness, but it shines most in the city because of its capabilities. And that sharpness isn't comfortable. You would want to do this with gloved hands. And of course, when I chop, I choke back because this is more of a machete hold, and you rock on your middle finger to get that nice chopping action. So in the chopping department, not the strongest. I would look at the SE6 for that. Very good chopper. Okay, I just want to point out something that I've seen some complaints about the Gerber LMF II, primarily because of this serrated area. First of all, the serrated area, some people ask, how do you sharpen that? Well, it's pretty easy. All you need is one of those circular diamond files, like the Smith's Pocket Pal. I'll link that below. It's super cheap, simple, easy, pretty easy to sharpen, no worries. If you're a right-handed person, the side that these serrations are on actually make it harder when you go to, for instance, shave wood. So I'll show you what I mean. If I go like this, it slips a bit more. If I switch hands, suddenly these will bite. See how that bites? I'm not sure if you can see that, but it just bites way better. So that is an advantage. It's an advantage if you're a left-handed person with the Gerber LMF II. The serrations will bite better for your left-handed person. However, if you increase the angle as a right-handed person, it is still effective. So it's really not a deal killer. It's more of it's a small complaint, but there is a difference. So how is this thing at tactical? Well, I'm not in the military, I'm not in law enforcement, but it does make a fairly decent tactical knife. Of course, it's a military knife in the first place. It's got that drop point and also kind of the bevel at the top of the drop point, which makes it easier for penetration. So I thought about maybe taking some of my chickens and showing you, but they're not quite fat enough yet. I don't know what else to show you without getting overly violent and banned on YouTube. You'll see there's a flat spot on this knife right here. Some people say, oh, you can use that as a hammer. I tried it. It's barely passable as a hammer. Really, its strength is this tactical point, which of course, I'm not thinking of a skull crusher, although it could be used for that. I'm thinking of glass breaking, egressing of a vehicle, or rescuing people out of vehicles. This is a good thing. When I think tactical though, I also think about the length of the blade. You know, having a bigger knife in a tactical situation not only is more intimidating, but it also allows you a little bit more reach. And so, you know, that's why I think the K-bar, for instance, still stands as one of the gold standards for tactical fighting knife, because it's got that much more length on the blade. All right, you all know this is a pet peeve of mine. Batoning is probably the most caveman thing on earth. I always recommend, if you're going to go out in the woods, at least bring a hatchet with you. But if you must be a caveman, yes, you can use it. The Gerber LMF II is a decent, it's decent, but because of this thumb ramp here, if you're a moron about it, you can break that and cause some problems with the handle. So this is a weakness in this knife. So here we go. This is of course, it's a shorter blade. I believe it's 4.5 inches, but it's a very stout blade. So we'll just go ahead and you just bang it. Strong tip, but because it was a little bit too short. I would say that this blade, when you look at the cross section, you know, when you got to there, I was pushing the limits of what this blade could do. So I would not try to baton anything bigger than 3.5 inches, and then because all you got is about an inch after that. It, of course, is a very stout drop point blade. The good thing about this blade is that it's extremely rust resistant, at 420C high carbon steel. Certainly a well-respected metal or well-respected steel in the cutlery industry. Let's talk about comfort of hold. You see right here, there's a thumb ramp, and then one on the underside too. Meaning, you know, when you get into penetration moments like that, you're not going to slide your hand over. It's a good secure grip. I'm not sure if you can see, but there's a slight hollow on this side, and then another slight hollow on this side, and that allows the base of your fingers to sit on one side in one hollow, and the fingertips to fit in the next, just like this. It gives you just an extra strength of purchase right there. The handle itself is covered is rubber wrapped and has a little bit of nubbing on it, but not enough to cause, you know, hot spots or anything. I could see these thumb ramps maybe causing a hot spot if you're really working hard. And over a long period of time, you might get a little bit of a blister between your fingers here. That's a possibility. I haven't done that. So just some thoughts on this blade. I do use, and I have used the Gerber LMF II for harvesting chickens, and I do especially find that the serrations help cutting through joints and into like cartilage and things like that, where a straight blade isn't so good. You can really use this serration part to cut through a lot of things that would take a lot more effort with the plain edge. Now, a lot of people like the plain edge, and I don't blame them. I think a plain edge is good, but serration stays sharper and can cut long after the straight edge becomes dull. So that's another factor you should consider. One of the things that's so common with really decent quality knives is the sheaths. They always seem to be an afterthought. Same with the K-Bar BK2, the SE6. All of them come with such terrible sheaths. This one does have like a plastic sheath, but it's got all kinds of cool stuff, like a leg mount that comes with it, so you can put it on your thigh, mole compatible. But one of the really neat things is it's got a field sharpener right here, so I can just go ahead and at least sharpen the plain edge part of this blade in the field. That is a really well thought. You know, even the sharpening, the ceramic sharpener is replaceable. That is a really thoughtful thing, and I like it. I think that overall I would still, when I was home, I would use a sharpening stone, but nonetheless, to know that you can sharpen up the blade in the field without having to carry along some extra kit, that's next level. I think it's pretty cool. Right, the other thing I wanted to point out to you is that it has multiple ways of retaining this knife. 2 button clips and a nice stout retainer clip that in and of itself would never allow this knife to fall, even if you mounted it inverted. Another way you can mount this knife is to put it on your backpack shoulder harness, mount it upside down, so you can just pull it out like that. I think that's a cool way and a handy way to have a knife really close to you. All right, so I brought the LMF II inside because I wanted to have a closer look at it. As you can see, I'm just going to give you some of the measurements here. First of all, the overall length from the tip of the pommel to the tip of the blade is 10.59 inches. The blade length itself is only 4.84 inches, and that's close to about the same length as the Becker BK7. Let me just grab that one for you. All right, here's the Becker BK7 beside the LMF II. Of course, a much beefier, thicker blade on the BK2. I'll just put them side by side. You can see how much more durable this blade is going to be. This is a 1095 blade. And the 1095 is going to be less corrosion resistant than 420 high carbon steel, but it is a harder steel. So this is one of some of the complaints that people have with the Gerber LMF II. So the handle length itself is 5.25 inches. And as you can see, my hand, I take a size large hand, and there is a little bit extra room probably for an XL hand if need be. The Gerber LMF II comes in about $85 or so, and it can go up from there depending on where you get it. I suggest having a look over at Blade HQ. You can also find them on Amazon. Either way, I am an affiliate with Blade HQ, so if you want to support me, you can. Otherwise, you can just go over to Amazon or Google it or whatever, but I would appreciate it if you think this knife is for you to consider maybe clicking through the link on my Blade HQ, and it's of no extra cost to you anyway. All right, so I want to show you something. Here is my first survival knife, and it's the Gerber Bear Grylls survival knife. It's not even the pro version. Do you see a lot of similarities here? Look at that. When I got this and I started researching other Gerber knives, I realized, hey, Bear, listen, man, you almost kind of just took the LMF II and made it your own. The only difference is, you know, you have this flat strike pommel on the back, and this one has a punch. Of course, it's a heavier blade, it's thicker. It's just a heavier duty knife than Bear Grylls. So in the end, I decided, hey, I'm upgrading. I went with the LMF II. But what about other knives that might be good for the bushcraft folks? I would have a look at the BK2. It's a really heavy knife, so weight might be an issue for you, but man, I don't think you can get a thicker 1095 blade for the money. The other one that I think you should consider is this one up here. This is the SE6. It's definitely got a longer blade, and you can get smaller versions of this. The SE3, I think, is, no, SE4 maybe. Can't remember all the numbers to have a comparable length blade, but this is also an immense beast, and it comes with the best knife warranty in the industry. Even if you break an SE, they'll replace it. Yeah. It's more like an insurance policy than a lifetime warranty anyway. So I'm a big fan of SE, and I'd encourage you guys to have a look at that. I've got a review of the SE6 on my website, wellrig.com. You can have a look at that as well. I know that there's a lot of opinions out there, guys, so don't crucify me for thinking that the Gerber LMF II is the best survival knife in the world. I didn't say that. I said it's one of the most versatile survival knives in the world, and I think it's probably one of the best, especially for urban disaster survival situations. BK2 is on the list all the time, and so is the SE6. If you think there's a better survival knife, especially for urban settings, do let me know. I'd love to hear about it, and maybe I'll be able to review it later. Hit the subscribe button. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I'll see you next time.